that they're quitting their jobs to take part. So what is it? Does it work? And could it make you wealthy? Jonathan Maitland goes in search of riches.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right.
Another wild day on the stock market.
The Dow at a mind-boggling 7,000.
Where does it stop?
Once upon a time, it was only people in pinstripe suits and red braces who made big money from stocks and shares. But now it seems it's within reach of all of us.
Why the hell should only rich people get the benefits of the stock market? We're entitled to get the benefits of the stock market. When my mum and dad was alive, they never had a chance to get into the stock market. Now we can.
It's very addictive. From the first time I made a profit, I bought and sold Glaxo within 24 hours and made £200. And I thought, wow, this is fantastic.
This is your portfolio, yeah?
Yes. Well, this is the portfolio.
Sally Mitchell uses the internet to buy and sell stocks and shares. What started as a hobby has now become an addiction.
I sit and watch the screen from 8 in the morning, well, 7:45 in the morning, because I like to see what has happened overnight in case a share's moved overnight, until about 4:30 in the afternoon. And then I'll study it again in the evening, probably from 8 till 12 some nights. It's as though I've found something that is just a whole new life. It's a tremendous buzz. It's very exciting. Good boy.
Sally's other hobby is horses, hence the computer showing the latest share prices in her stable. At the moment, she says, she's making thousands of pounds every month.
I've had superb days, yes. I mean, I have made more in a day than I could make in a year on the business.
The beauty of online trading is that anyone can do it, even financial dunces masquerading as TV reporters. All you need is a computer and money. And last week, the editor kindly gave me some to play with. £500, in fact.
Things I want, just things I think I want.
The deal was that the profits, if any, would go to charity. So, how much could I make or lose in a week? Share dealing via the internet has become a national phenomenon. 3,000 new people are trying it for the first time every week. All you do is pick a share you want to buy and press a button. To sell, press again.
The boom in online trading really began in the US, of course, with the growth of the internet over there. Projections are that by 2002 there'll be some $700 billion in online trading accounts held by private investors. That's just over there. Over here, we're getting thousands of new online trading accounts being opened weekly, and to such an extent that online brokers here can't manage the demand. Try getting through by phone line to open an account. It's particularly difficult at present, and I think that's likely to continue. What will happen is online trading will become as common and as natural as having a mortgage or a credit card or a bank account.
This was one of the most influential men in Britain, the share tipster Anil Boyrell of the Daily Mirror's City Slickers team. His readers spent millions on companies he tipped, but last week he was fired for having shares in some of the companies he was plugging. He reckons there are fortunes to be made every day.
I think most people realise there's a lot of money to be made very quickly. And the main thing is you don't need to be rich to be a day trader. You can start with not a single penny. You just get on the computer, buy some shares that you don't own, sell them the next day and make £5 grand.
Oh, get stuck in.
Go on then, come in, Liz, and hit it first time. Go on, get... Oh, you're too late.
The referee, the coaches and the manager of this girls' football team in Leeds used to talk about nothing but soccer, but now a different subject dominates because all of them are online traders.
Go on then.
In fact, Martin Cockerill caught the bug so bad he even gave up his job to do it full time.
It's very hard for me to concentrate on anything else that's happening outside of the share business. I invested 5,000 and the share quadrupled, but I also bought as it was going up as well.
So what was your profit in?
So the total profit from that was 30,000.
So you made 30 grand in how quickly?
Well, 10 days.
These days, Eurovision winners Katrina and the Waves will play with anyone. But they've also started playing the stock market. Alex, here on tambourine, has made 50% in the last 6 months.
Have I got the gig? No.
It is addictive because you wake up in the morning and you log on at 8:30 and you see what the stock market's doing. And there's nothing better. If some of your shares have gone up, it's like, wow, this is exciting. Yeah, this is a boost, you know, this is a high. No, it is seriously addictive. And you get really quite into it. And I can spend 3 hours a day, if I've got those 3 hours, looking at the computer.
And do you kind of check the prices while you're recording and stuff?
Yeah, we usually have. Sometimes we're here, yeah, and we're logged on there and, yeah, looking at the prices. Yeah. Someone's trying to do an overdub, you know.
We're going to put a ticker going across the...
Yeah.
And what with all the stock market prices?
Yeah, all the prices.
Back at HQ, things weren't going to plan though. As a result of 2 duff decisions, I'd lost £94 of my boss's money. And the next day was just as bad. I blew another 90. What I needed more than anything was some good advice. And fortunately, ex-pop star and actor turned financial guru Adam Faith agreed to give me some.
Where am I going wrong? I mean, you know, give me some advice.
Well, where you're going wrong is that you're putting a pin in a piece of paper, which is what a lot of people are doing at the moment with internet stocks and coming up with the odd winner. You happen to be pressing the pin in the wrong place. And of course, that is the sure road to disaster. And what you've got to do is read all your newspapers with the financial thing and learn about the subject. You've got to know about it. If you knew a lot more about it, you might be more cautious about where you stick your pin.
For some reason, Eurovision musicians in particular seem to be attracted to online trading. Roger Pritchard of Brotherhood of Man reckons he makes up to £10,000 a week.
Well, the best time of day normally is the end of the day because I download into my portfolios all the latest prices, and there's a little ticker at the top of my program which goes round, 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 and then it stops and tells you how much you've made in that day. So that's nice because generally you have 4 good days for every 1 bad day. So, you know, 4 out of 5 days, that's a good time for me. You get a good buzz from that, and I enjoy waiting for the program to load and to tell me how much I've made in that day.
And Roger's had quite a few good buzzes recently. He claims he's made several £100,000 from online trading.
The man went in to speak to the office manager and the secretary. He heard several shots. Apparently there was shot at point-blank range. Then the door flew open. He ran into the main trading room where there were many people, and he started firing on everyone. It was not a pretty sight.
But there's a downside to online trading. People can lose fortunes. And in one case in America, someone lost their mind. Last year, Mark Barton from Atlanta killed 12 people, including his wife and 2 children, before turning the gun on himself. He'd lost $105,000 trading shares on the internet. The case of Mark Barton highlighted the key thing about online trading. You can lose money just as easily as you can make it.
I've jumped into a share very stupidly for myself and my son without doing the research on it, and I lost 50% overnight.
How much was that?
About 12,000.
I've heard of ordinary people who work in Tesco's, for example, who've had to go and lost 5 grand in a day. 5 grand they didn't have because they've just put it on and seen the price go down. And that's a lot of money. You don't hear those stories because those people don't really want to talk about it, do they?
The worry is that some people will end up losing far more than £5,000. if there's another stock market crash, experts say it'll be members of the public that get hurt the most.
That if we do see a steep decline, it will be the small private investor that will be left holding the last parcel. Many people that have put considerable amounts of their savings, I've even heard of people that have borrowed money, remortgaged their houses to go into these kinds of stocks. And unfortunately, if there is a reversal, the reversal could be very, very fast, could be very severe, and I'm afraid it's going to be those kind of people that are going to be crying most.
I wasn't blubbing, but I wasn't exactly ecstatic either. After 3 days of classic mug punting, I'd turned my boss's £500 into £496. Basically, I'd been running hard, only to stand still. Late last Wednesday, it was time to put Plan B into operation.
Well, how did he get on in the last couple of days trading? We'll tell you in 2 minutes. Plus the test that could save your life. Why hundreds of women are dying needlessly every year.
Why should women settle for existing standards? Why can't they get the best possible standards out of the system we have?
Welcome back. Before the break, Jonathan Maitland joined the thousands of people who are now trading stocks and shares on the internet. In the first 3 days of his week-long experiment, he had turned £500 into 496. So, what happened next?
By last Wednesday, having run up that profit of minus £4, I felt like a bit of a wally. I hadn't quite done a Nick Leeson, admittedly, but to my shame, I hadn't done my homework either. So, all night I researched companies that looked a good bet. The plan was to put the lot on the two that I fancied the most. You shouldn't try this at home, by the way, because putting all your eggs in one basket, or rather two, isn't sensible, as the experts will tell you.
Don't try and make all your money in a week. Don't be thinking, how can I double my money in a month? Most novices will become unstuck if they try and do that. Instead, try and think of stocks which you can hold for a year, buy them, and then leave them alone. Technology, telecom stocks are particular areas which are doing well at the moment, but diversify well and hold for a longer period.
You go in your local shops, you listen to your friends in the pub when they're talking about their business. You know, when somebody's working as a fitter for a engineering factory or something and comes to the pub and says, oh, I'm out on my feet because we're working 24 hours a day, we've got all this work coming in, we don't know how we're going to cope with it. You think, hey, if they're that busy, what are the shares doing?
By now, my shares weren't doing too badly. After a week of online trading, last Friday was D-Day for the Tonight online experiment, and my make or break strategy had worked. Shares in the two companies I bought into, a Halifax and an internet firm called Quality, had risen substantially. I cashed in my chips and I'd made £104, a profit of just over 20%. Very seductive. The problem, though, is that this apparently easy money will most certainly not be around for much longer. According to the experts, it's not a case of if the bubble bursts, but when.
Jonathan Maitland reporting. And if you're thinking of taking up trading on the net, it's as well to listen to the advice of all the city experts we interviewed. Make sure you know as much as possible about the companies before buying into them. Never invest cash you can't afford to lose, and never borrow money to buy shares. Every year, 4 million women have a smear test to find out whether they have cervical cancer. But although the national screening program has saved thousands of lives, it's by no means perfect. Now, though, there's a new test that's far more reliable. And if it was brought in nationwide, it could cut the number of cervical cancer deaths by half. So why isn't it available throughout the country? Vanessa Collingridge reports.
The cervical smear examination, known as the Pap test, is based on a system that's more than 70 years old. It misses almost a third of cervical abnormalities, and half all women with cervical cancer have had their smears classed as normal. In 1998, Ruth Tudor began trying for her first child. Her previous 10 NHS smears had always been clear. Then her employers sent her for private health screening.
I basically had the smear done and then waited a week or so, and the result came through. And it said, amazingly, I thought that I'd got precancerous changes and that I needed to get them sorted out. But I wasn't unduly worried at that time because I'd got a history of healthy smears. So I just thought, well, this is what you do. You go for smears for, is to be told when there's a precancerous change, you go and get it sorted out.
But Ruth's confidence in the system was about to be shattered.
I was keen to start a family, so what I was trying to do at that point was get it all sorted out as quickly as possible so I could go on and have a family. So I then went back to my GP and got a referral to a gynaecologist. And then suddenly I discovered that I've got cancer that's spread into the lymph nodes on one side, and the treatment for which is going to involve a total of 5 operations ending up with a hysterectomy and 6 weeks worth of chemotherapy and radiotherapy.
Ruth was now fighting for her life, her hopes for a baby ruined.
At the time, I barely noticed that I'd got cancer because I was absolutely devastated by the fact that I couldn't have children. That was my one focus at the time, was I was planning to have a family, and to be told that I couldn't have children was very hard. And I remember ringing up my mum, and it's very, people ring up and say, oh, how are you? Oh, by the way, I've got cancer,